Yes, we had a question from last time. The question was, can you please share a story of a lay person becoming enlightened and where we can find these stories?
Lay people attain enlightenment like Chitta Gahapati and Matika Mata. These stories you can find in Samyutta Nikaya, Anguttara Nikaya, and so forth. And many lay people like Upali, householder, attain stream entry by listening to a sermon. That we find in Majjhima Nikaya, Upali Sutta, and you can find one a person called Super Buddha. He was suffering from skin disease. He was virtually a beggar. He heard the Dhamma and attained enlightenment. And Visakha, when she was very young, at the age of 7, it is said that she attained stream entry and so forth. That is very common stories. So, yeah, okay.
Thank you, Bhante. The next question is, can you give examples of the 4 kinds of cowherds in real practices? So yesterday you talked about the 4 different kind of cowherds and the path, and then where they find the cow being as a representation of the practice. Can you give specific examples?
A specific example is in general, it is difficult to find a specific example, but the teaching you find in Anguttara Nikaya, chapter 4, called Patipada Vagga, Sutta number 5, 4, 5, 6, and so forth, several of them are there. And then a specific example is, for instance, Chakkupala. You can see the Dhammapada commentary. He practiced very, very, very hard, even at the cost of his eyes. And finally, he attained enlightenment. This is example for the first category. That is, he, I said, the example I gave you was, rather simile I gave was a cowherd looking for his missing cow, and he went through a thorny undergrowth, very thick forest, and then he found the cow lying in that thick thorny forest, and then he found the cow. Chakkupala, Venerable Chakkupala was like that. He struggled very hard and finally he attained enlightenment. That is one example. And Angulimala, for instance, did not have to struggle that much. He very easily he went. Finally, it was hard for him to attain enlightenment because of his so many thought came to his mind, because of his committing, taking fingers from people. He did not have an intention to kill, but when he cut a finger off of one person, eventually perhaps the person might have died of bleeding. So anyway, he remembers all these things, and therefore it was difficult. So he didn't have to struggle too long, but eventually he had to go through this hardship. That is the example for the second simile. Second simile is the cowherd going on an easy road, and yet he found a cow in a very thick forest, thorny forest, and he had to crawl through all these vines, thorny undergrowth, and so forth to find a cow. That is the example. And then the third one is going through hardship and find the attainment easily, just like a cowherd going through a forest and find a cow lying on an open area. That is sluggish or slow path, but quick attainment. That is, I think, for instance, Bhavya Daruchirya, he traveled many miles, and then finally he met the Buddha and attained enlightenment very quickly. And then Venerable, that is example for the third category. Fourth category is Venerable Sariputta, Moggallana. They attained extreme entry first, and very easily Venerable Sariputta just was listening to a Dhamma sermon delivered by the Buddha to Sariputta's nephew called Digha Naka, and you find it in Majjhima Nikaya. And this is going on the clear path and finding the cow on the clear open area. These are the examples that came to my mind for now. Okay, next question.
Next question is, while practicing mindful breathing, do we also have to think of impermanence and of the absence of oneself? Can you please clarify this? When you do mindfulness of breathing, do you have to think about impermanence and non-self at the same time?
You don't have to think about it. It happens. It happens. So as it happens, you experience it. Impermanence is not something that you have to think separately. While you are breathing in, you experience the breath, the feeling of breath. At the beginning, it was not there in 1 second later. That feeling is no longer there in the next second. That feeling is not there in the next second, and so forth. As you breathe in, your feeling also is moving, and therefore you become aware of it. You don't have to think separately. It happens very naturally. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante. The next question is, can we take the 3 refuges and the 8 lifetime precepts by ourselves every morning by reading, for example, the Bhavana Vandana book? the person says they feel that it helps to reinforce daily commitments and also to be aware of how easily it is to break the precepts, so to recommit to the precepts. So the question is, can we take the lifetime precept by ourselves? If you're not meeting with a monk, you do it by yourself at home by reading the Bhavana Vandana book?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. You can do it by yourself at home. That's a very good commitment. You don't have to find a monastic. You cannot serve it by yourself. You can practice it by yourself. Yeah. Use a Vandana book as for your as your guide.
Thank
Okay.
you. The next question is if somebody has ADD or ADHD, that's attention deficit disorder, is it possible to practice meditation? And if so, which kind of meditation do you recommend for somebody that has a condition that's called attention deficit disorder? It's actually a physiological condition in the brain where they have a difficulty concentrating on something. So what do you recommend? What kind of meditation do you recommend for a person like this?
Yes. ADD person or ADHD person needs guidance, needs somebody to be with that person and slowly, gradually train the person to pay attention to one object and to practice meditation. For instance, especially meditation on looking at impermanence, that person can pay attention to impermanence. For instance, his body is moving, his body is vibrating, he can hear sounds, smells, all this. It is not very difficult for someone to hear a sound even for few seconds and then gradually learn to stay longer in hearing, to see the changes of sound, smell, taste, touch, and all these sensory objects. And so that person needs some guidance, somebody to be with that person for a certain period of time. Then the person will be on his or her own to continue the practice. And so I think another thing is uh, practicing metta meditation. Uh, I would recommend very strongly for such a person, in spite of his attention deficiency, he can practice metta. Somebody can ask him to practice metta towards himself, to his parents, teachers, and so on. And slowly, gradually, he will learn. That is my belief. I have not tried it. That is my advice. Okay, next question.
Thank you, Bhante. The word sampajanya is translated as clear comprehension. It is also translated as situational awareness. Can you please give some more context on this difficult word? So can you explain the word sampajanya?
Sampajanya, it is either clear comprehension or situational awareness, may be uh, partially correct, but not complete, because Sampajanya, as Buddha explained in Samyutta Nikaya, is when greed arises, that person knows the arising of greed, maintaining it and passing away. 3 stages. Greed, the beginning of greed, and it is remaining in the present moment, and then it passing away. 3 stages that person can notice. Noticing these 3 stages of greed, hatred, delusion, jealousy, fear, whatever mental state arises at that time, the person should be able to see it as it arises, as it remains, as it passes away. And this kind of clear comprehension is Venerable Sariputta when he was listening to Anupada Sutta, Sutta number 111 in Majjhima Nikaya. And the Buddha noticed it. Buddha noticed Venerable Sariputta paying attention to this, something arising, remaining, and passing away. He saw these 3 stages. And then it is called in Pali, ahutva sambhoti hutva pativeti. Something that was not there arises. What arises passes away. There is nothing fixed for us to see passing away. Something which was not there arises due to dependent origination, causes and reasons. Arises, whatever is arisen, that thing passes away. So the arising of that thing and its sustenance or maintenance and passing away, these 3 moments, sometimes is called rushing moment, peak moment, passing moment, uppada, titi, bhanga, and so forth. There are Pali terms, rushing moment, existing moment, arising, existing present moment, and passing away moment. Now this is very sharp awareness. That is how, that is what sampajanya or whatever clear comprehension or situational awareness is. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante. The next question is change synonymous with movement? When we talk about changing, is it the same as movement?
Change synonymous with movement, surely. Now, change, we say movement, change, all these are the expression of impermanence. Change means something that doesn't stay in one place even for 2 consecutive moments. Movement also means that. In that respect, both change and movement are synonymous and both of them equal to impermanence. If you put these 2 terms on one side, put equal sign in the middle, and then on the right-hand side you see impermanence. So impermanence is equal to change or movement. So therefore, both change and movements are similar or simultaneous. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante. I don't see another question in the chat. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see another one. But I wanted to ask, the experience of the first jhana, the experience of piti in the first jhana, can it also be experienced outside of meditation? For example, during walking meditation, or even when you have an insight by listening to Dhamma?
Oh, sure. The moment our hindrances passes away, piti arises. Hindrances are greed, hatred, sleepiness and drowsiness, restlessness and worry and doubt. As long as these things, hindrances arise in our mind, hindrances remain in our mind, pity or joy cannot arise because these are two diametrically opposite mental states. And therefore, hindrances must pass away and joy or pity arises. That can happen while you are walking, sitting, standing, or any position. That kind of pity arises. It doesn't mean that you are in jhana, but pity can arise in those states. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante. Okay, so now we have a question. In Vipassana meditation, hold on, I have to understand it. In Vipassana meditation, we look at things as it is, meaning the five aggregates. The person is saying it's sometimes difficult to see this. Can you tell us the steps to observe this? So the person understands that in Vipassana meditation, we have to look at things as they really are. So we have to observe the five aggregates, look at things from the root. But this is not an easy thing to do. What are the steps to be able to do this, to look at things as they are?
Now, Vipassana meditation is a general term, and uh, seeing things as they really are happens when we gain concentration. And Buddha mentioned it many times, samahitam chittam yatha bhutam pajanati. Concentrated mind sees things as they really are. Now, we practice mindfulness, and mindfulness can lead to concentration. Sometimes we practice concentration, that can lead to mindfulness. There are Pali terms for that. Samatha pubbanga vipassana, vipassana pubbanga samatha. That means concentration preceded by mindfulness, or mindfulness preceded by concentration. These two go hand in hand. The third method is Yuganadha, these two working together. Anyway, you have to gain concentration to see things as they really are. When you gain concentration, your mind becomes extremely sharp, clear, pure, and that state of mind can see the body, feeling, perception, thought, and consciousness changing. And that is what is called seeing things as they really are. Here, things are the five aggregates, as I mentioned all the time. In the five aggregates, we don't see anything static, anything fixed, anything permanent. Anything that arises, anything in belonging to five aggregates is changing, impermanent. And therefore, we don't have to use any words, but we can experience these changes taking place. To gain this experience, you should not have all other obstacles. So it is not very easy. Surely it is difficult, but any difficult thing becomes easy when you keep doing it over and over again. And therefore, I request you to have trust and faith in the Buddha's teaching and practice it. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante. We have a following question on Sampajanya. The person is saying that they read that one should consider if a certain activity or habitual pattern of thinking is conducive to liberation, or if it will lead us further into samsara. Is this relevant? So sampajanya, reflecting what I'm thinking or if what I'm doing, is this getting me further into samsara, or is this leading me to liberation? Is this relevant?
It uh, uh, it at one stage it is normal, ordinary things, but when you develop it in a higher level, it becomes a definite opening for liberation. That you may consider, you said you read that if we can also consider if a certain activity or habitual patterns of thought is conducive to further binding to samsara, or liberation is liberation. Is this relevant? That's the question. So, uh, the uh, the certain activities may become habitual, and we have to break this habit if they are unwholesome. If they are wholesome habitual practice, then we must develop and cultivate. Then it will be conducive to your liberation. If it is unwholesome, it certainly binds you to samsara. So you have to make the distinction between your wholesome habit and unwholesome habit. Therefore, I cannot say any habit is binding you to samsara, or any habit is binding to liberation, or leading to liberation. But that depends on the kind of habits. Okay?
Thank you, Bante. We have a follow-up question on the answer you gave about the ADAD situation for person trying to practice. What would you recommend? Would you recommend certain types of meditation for people that have anxiety and people that have depression? So what kind of, is it metta or something else?
I think if people have anxiety uh, and depression, uh, they take sometimes to overcome anxiety and depression. Particularly, suppose somebody is diagnosed. This is a very, very painful experience. Diagnosed that the person has cancer. As soon as the person heard this, anxiety begin to build up, and the person can feel, may feel depressed. And then the person must think of options. Now, this cancer is uh, terminal or not. This is curable or not. And the person must uh, must seek the experienced experts, doctors, and try to get suitable treatments. While doing so, if the person tries to meditate, a person must think when we meditate and make us calm, relaxed, and peaceful, perhaps that helps the person, that helps to develop more what you call red blood cells and stem blood cells, and perhaps it will help the person to overcome cancer or reduce the seriousness of cancer. Uh, Instead of being depressed, the person must pick up courage, understanding, and have patience and trust in the practice of meditation, trust the remedy or the medicine, trust doctors, and practice meditation. And then these are the steps that I like to propose. And also, if it is getting worse, serious, the person must understand this is the nature of life. Some people have cancer, some people not. I know somebody, I know several people. One died last year, January 1st. I know that person for many years. That person was 80 years old, but about 2 or 3 years before, she was diagnosed that she had pancreatic cancer, which is almost incurable. And but I went to visit her. This was a woman, 80 years old woman. I went to visit her, and she was in a very good spirit, and she is a meditator. And then uh, her friends kept me updated, and then slowly, uh, she came to a stage that she required hospice service, and she did not go to hospital. And the hospice people came to her home. She had a very comfortable apartment, and they took care of her. And when I visited with two other people, she was in a very good spirit. And finally, a week before she passed away, she transferred to hospital. There again, I talked to my friend. She was slowly losing her appetite, could not eat. Until last moment, she remained uh, in good spirit. And then she passed away on 1st of January last year. So when people keep practicing meditation, they learn slowly to handle their anxiety and uh, depression and so forth. So I would recommend people to uh, do meditation under any circumstance. Okay, you may ask one more question. We are running out of time.
Okay. One practical question, Bhante. You always say that we should take a deep breath, but the person is asking that sometimes when we are tired and we begin to meditate, is it okay to just start concentrating on the in and out going breath instead of taking a deep breath?
Okay. I think uh, taking a deep breath uh, certainly helps your tiredness, uh, and then you can, once you breathe maybe 3 or 4 minutes, breathe deeply, and then uh, relax and let the breath flow. Then gradually your tiredness may fade away. Actually, when you are tired, that deep breath is very helpful because that energize, that brings you a lot of oxygen, and lungs expand, lungs become strong. Uh, so that helps person to pick up energy. Uh, short breath uh, may may make the person even more sleepy, drowsy, and so forth. So that is why I strongly recommend people to take deep breath, even in both Satipatthana discourses, uh, Anapanasati discourse, Satipatthana or Satipatthana discourses. Buddha mentioned first long inhaling and long exhaling. When we take long inhaling, become aware of long inhaling. When you breathe out long, become aware of that. And that way, your initial lethargic inertia fades away and you pick up your energy. I think if you give into a laziness, drowsiness, and try to um, make your breathing short, perhaps that might not help. That is why I strongly advise people to breathe deeply at the beginning. So, friends, if there are any questions, we can postpone them to another day. And since we need some time to meditate, I think we can stop here and then do meditation. Okay? Okay. May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long, large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere. Neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another. As a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child, even so, towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hatred or resentment, whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down, or whenever awake. One should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dwelling here, not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision, removing desire for sensual pleasures. One comes never again to birth in the womb. Friends, with this metta thought, let us meditate. We have only about 25 minutes to meditate. So I think you all have sufficient instructions, and we sit and meditate for the next 25 years, 25 minutes. Mm. By means of these meritorious deeds, may I never join with the foolish. May I join always with the wise until the time and attain Bhavana. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear-struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. So too may all beings be. From the highest realm of existence to the lowest, may all beings action in these realms, with form and without form, with perception and without perception, be released from all suffering and attain to perfect peace. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So, friend, that ends this morning session. And let me share metta with everybody.
Oh, Gesundheit. Gesundheit. Gesundheit.
May all those who are in hospitals taken care of by doctors, nurses, and hospital staff, may they recover very soon and return to normal health and continue their meditation, practice Dhamma, and liberate from samsaric suffering. May the doctors, nurses, hospital staff who sacrifice their comfort, risk their life to take care of these people out of compassion, may they also find time to practice meditation and liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. May all those who have lost their loved ones, may they be free from their grief and understand the nature of Dhamma and practice meditation and liberate from samsaric suffering. May all those who are in the northern direction, northeastern direction, eastern direction, southeastern direction, southern direction, southwestern direction, western direction, northwestern direction, up and below, all this in all directions, all of them be well, happy and peaceful and attain liberation from samsaric suffering. Okay, friends, have a wonderful day.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Everyone, Salmai Bhante.
Bhante,
Sadhu,
sadhu, sadhu.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Everyone, Sarnai Bhante.
All the best to the Sangha, Bhante.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Good health. Long